What you said a moment ago about how James Bond is involved in more things than than the normal hero or actor or whatever, and we got a dog outside.
We always got a dog.
That
Welcome
dog,
to the Real Reject. What is up, Reject Nation? My name is John Humphrey, and with me is
Jaby Koay,
Mr. Jaby Koay of the Jaby Koay YouTube channel, and today we thought we'd hit you with a little discussion, right?
Yeah.
How am I doing? Am I doing okay?
You're doing pretty good, man.
Good.
Yes.
Good. You are a professional.
I like your hosting.
I'm gonna rely on. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. What else do you like about me?
Well, a lot of things, but we won't talk about that here.
Today, the news just came out that Daniel Craig is going to do the next James Bond movie. Actually, the news broke on which show does Stephen Colbert?
The Colbert. He's just the late night show. Yeah. To the Tonight Show.
To the Tonight. That's it.
The Tonight Show. Wow.
We should step.
We got there. We got there. It just took two of us to figure it out.
But, as John would soon realize, they actually hadn't figured it out.
It's been a long afternoon.
This is what happens when you rely on Google for 15 years of your life.
But he flat out said that he is going to do the next James Bond movie. Kind of explained the incident that happened when he said he'd rather slash his wrists.
That's what I was thinking about when you said that. I'm like, I thought he would rather kill himself.
They got to that pretty quick.
Yeah. I've been quite cagey about it. I've been doing interviews all day and people have been asking me, and I think I've been rather coy, but I kind of felt like, I was going to sort of speak the truth, I should speak the truth to you.
Daniel Craig, will you return as James Bond?
Yes.
Thanks so much. Daniel Craig, everybody.
Should I leave now? I always wanted to. I needed a break.
You didn't always want to, because you said at an interview, after you finished Spectre, you said, I'd rather slash my wrists than play James Bond again.
I can't believe you've got that written down there.
Of course.
It was 2 days after I finished shooting the last movie. And instead of saying something, with style and grace, I gave a really stupid answer.
I'm surprised that, that statement hasn't hurt him in the least. And and I'm surprised it hasn't hurt James Bond at all in the least. That's a pretty big statement, but I guess we're getting more used to celebrities saying things.
Yeah.
What's his name? Jim Carrey was totally against Kick-Ass 2. And it didn't, I don't know if that hurt the film at all. I don't think it did. The only other example that comes to mind is the guy who played the Joker, Jared Leto.
Yeah.
He was outspoken against the film because, they cut half his shit from the movie. But,
yeah, and the thing is, people don't seem to be very forgiving of him, and it seemed like people were more, I don't know, open to what Daniel Craig said at the time, because I feel like the performance of Spectre has something to do with that, because nobody seemed like they liked that movie.
Okay.
And I feel like that helps his case almost. People are like, yeah, he's done a bunch of these, this one wasn't very good, yeah, why not? Let him leave,
I would call that his Russell Crowe Academy Award moment. Because when Russell Crowe got the Academy Award for Gladiator, he was very unappreciative of what just happened. If you go back and watch his press right after winning the award, he's like, what, I put on a costume, I say my lines, what's the big deal? He just could not give any less fucks about the fact that he just won an Academy Award, something so few people have done, and he just took it for granted. And so I think Daniel Craig hit that moment where he took it for granted for a hot second, and right after he's like, wow, that was dumb. I actually appreciate this, because I'm one of the luckiest people in the world.
Yeah, and I mean, watching him on television, he's an actor, but he did seem very enthused about the news, and there was a tag at the end where he basically said, he wanted to go out on a high note.
Yeah.
And I can definitely see that motivation.
Is this the last Bond? Can you tell me if you're going to do the one after that?
No, I think this is it. This is it.
it?
Yeah, I just want to go out on a high note, and I can't wait.
Was Spectre like the Temple of Doom? Was it that bad? I didn't see the movie.
Greg puts it this way: Quantum of Solace is a worse movie, but somehow Spectre is much more disappointing.
Okay.
Is how he put that. And that's kind of the echo I heard from everybody else. Is in terms of being a competently made motion picture, Quantum of Solace is almost unintelligible. That movie gave me such a headache. And I've heard that, Spectre kind of tries to split the difference, bring in some of the old Bond stuff, some of the suave, gadgets and, humor and things like that, while also balancing it with the grittiness that they've established in the Daniel Craig series. And I heard that kind of just resulted in this limp, sort of dry movie that no one seemed very engaged
Did you like the one before?
Skyfall?
Skyfall.
Yeah, I like Skyfall.
You know, the only Bond movie with Daniel Craig that I've enjoyed is the first one, Casino Royale. Yeah. I liked a fight scene in Quantum of Solace, but overall, like, the film wasn't very good to me. I don't think there's that many good James Bond movies that have been made in the past 20 years, to be perfectly honest. Pierce Brosnan is my personal favorite Bond of the series, and when Daniel Craig first signed up for it, I was like, that's who they went with? That's the guy? Like, why him? Like, that's the odd choice. I've kind of gotten accustomed to him, but I still don't feel like he's gotten a great Bond movie, and so I understand what he's saying. Like, he'd like to go out on a high note. He's got that position. I would say, yeah, like, do it, dude. I was kind of hoping Idris Elba was going to take over the position. Yeah. According to Idris Elba, Daniel Craig screwed up that position for him because by saying to the world, I'd like Idris Elba to be the first black Bond, Idris Elba feels that he fucked him out of that opportunity.
Wow.
Like,
that's a drag.
Yeah, because like the internet blew up about it, racists came out about it, and then, you know, this, that, and the third.
People suggest Idris Elba for everything. Like, whenever it comes to like, hey, we should cast more black actors, Idris Elba is like the first person anybody throws out. But I feel like Bond would be a very cool role to see.
On that note, I heard that Idris Elba is doing the next Bruce Lee biopic. So
is he gonna play Bruce Lee?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Got the mannerisms down and everything.
We're all, yeah. I can see where Daniel Craig is coming from with this, because James Bond comes with a lot of extra stuff, and I've heard that that's part of what makes this role so demanding, is not only are you making a big blockbuster movie, but you have to shoot a bunch of extra commercials and a bunch of other product tie-ins, and like the character has to appear in more places than just your normal role would. So I can I can see what is taxing and demanding about a character like this, but I can also see how, you know, with time you would soften, you would want to come back and, you know, really put your stamp on it, especially after the abysmal reception that that Spectre got, because even Quantum of Solace can rest on the whole writer's strike thing.
Which you said a moment ago about how James Bond is involved in more things than the normal hero or actor or whatever. I read when they did, I think, GoldenEye, Pierce Brosnan's line, "The things we do for frequent flyer miles." The director had to fight for that tooth and nail, just for that joke. Because, like, it's a worldwide film. It's always been a worldwide thing. And so, you know, that just speaks to what you're talking about, how it's everywhere, the marketing, all that stuff.
I'm curious about what they're going to make this story into, because it's 25, you know, it's the 25th film. And to give that something that's a little more than another just rote diabolical scheme of some kind, you know, maybe they can tie it into the real world. Brexit just happened.
You want that? Do you want that? I don't want that.
We've done this 24 times.
Yeah,
you know, like,
I'm
like, let's do something different. I'm not saying it's got to be deep. Yeah. I'm not saying it's got to be like, let's deconstruct politics. Yeah. But, you know, like, there's a lot to utilize, I feel like, especially the way tension in the world is now. Like, there's a lot you can at least utilize for entertainment value, which people aren't afraid to do. Casino Royale came out and we were like, cool, gritty James Bond, less gadgets, more, you know, kind of dogfighting stuff. And since then, it seems like they're sort of struggling to figure out what's next to do. Because that was, like I said, they tried to bring in classic elements to Spectre, and that didn't seem like it worked so well either.
I personally think that they should just own the style that has been James Bond for many years. The gritty James Bond, it's like, that's not, James Bond wasn't written as a gritty character as far as I know. Like, he was written as a classy, distinguished gentleman, which Daniel Craig, what he brings to it is a very different kind of character. And so, I'm happy to see him do it one more time as a good send-off, hopefully. But I would love to see in the installment after that, to go back to what James Bond was before. It's not with the times. The thing is, like, James Bond is not a character who does what is PC today.
Yeah, so I don't know. This is cool news for Daniel Craig, I guess, is sort of like what I take away from this. The most I care is kind of, I hope you can do a great one before you leave. Like, it would be nice
That's my feeling. That's my feeling. I do like Daniel Craig a lot, though. It's like separate from James Bond. I actually appreciate his acting and what he brings to each role that he does. I think that he's actually really, really good. I just was reluctant to have him as Bond in the beginning. He's grown a little bit on me, but I'm still like,
that track record is...
But do a good one, man. Like, do a good one before you leave. going back to what we said at the beginning, like, I can actually completely understand why he would say, I'd rather cut my wrist than do this again. Because
I fully sympathize with him at that time.
Because those films are just not... They've been getting kind of, you know...
Well, yeah, and it seemed like for a while there, that was kind of all he got to do. And it seems like they've taken at least a minute. They're taking a minute with this Bond movie, and he's gotten a chance to go do some other things first. Yeah. You know, which always rejuices you, rejuvenates you.
Right. Well, it reinvigorates your spirit to do it again. Or makes you forget the shitty process you went through. But I'm sure, like, he probably got hurt doing some of the action in James Bond. It's like... I think it's a tall order.
Yeah. Comment below. Let us know, how do you feel about this? Are you excited to see another Daniel Craig James Bond? Do you wish he would step aside, let somebody else fill the shoes? Let us know what you think.
What's the name of the actor who played Mad-Eyed Moody?
Oh, Brendan Gleeson?
That's a different direction for James Bond.
Yeah, just like a chubby like older guy.
Just angry. That's probably what spies really look like now.
I gotta imagine spies are not, like, super charming, handsome, like, conspicuous people.
They're there to get the job done.
Yeah, you gotta probably be an average-looking dude to be a really great spy.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, guys. You can subscribe to The Real Rejects, click that notification bell, get notified every time a review or a video is out. JabyTube, you can subscribe to JabyTube on the internet.
I deliberately made it confusing, so...
I did my research.
YouTube.com/JabyTube for the reactions and reviews, and then Twitter and Instagram is @Jaby Koay.
Awesome. Yeah. And comment below, James Bond. And until next time, the name is James Bond. Good night.
That was not it.